Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the session. A quick reminder, please have your camera off and you're also muted. Type your questions in the chat box, direct them to Q&A, and this session will be recorded and available in our YouTube channel. Okay, so let's begin. Today, our session is called U.S. Graduate Studies, Improving Your Professional Network. My name is Magali Hernandez. I'm one of the advisors in Education USA, Mexico City. And here with me in this session is Tracy Case, representing the University of Mississippi. She is also, welcome Tracy. Okay, we're going to begin our presentation. So first, what is Education USA? Education USA is a global network of advising centers. We are part of the Department of State, of the USA Department of State. We offer accurate, comprehensive, and current information about US studies in the higher education system. Our services are free. We guide you, we help you with resources, information. We also have different sessions like this to advise you and help you through the process. We work with 5 steps. The first step is research your options. The second step is finance your studies. The third step, complete your application. Fourth step, apply for your visa. And the fifth step is prepare for your departure. We guide you through all of these steps. You will have an advisor that's going to be with you through all of this process to make it easier, to help you with your questions, to guide you, and to be able for you to achieve your studies in the United States. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the first step. And remember, if you have any questions, please type them and let us know. Okay, so the first step is research your options, where everything starts, right? So we're going to research your options. How can we research your options? If there are almost 4,000 accredited higher education institutions in the United States. Yeah, I know that's a lot, right? And how you as a student are you going to find the best fit? Well, we're going to help you guide you to find the best fit. Remember, this process takes about 12 to 18 months to complete this process. We advise you to look and search at petersons.com and gradschools.com, where you will find accredited institutions that will have the best program, that will guide you, that will help you find the best university. We can help you during your research, but remember, you have to research the best university for you, not the university that's best for someone else or that someone recommended. It might be a good recommendation, but you have to look for that university that best fits your needs. I always advise my students to look for a university that has everything that they are looking for: a scholarship, what state, transportation, how are they going to live in the campus, outside the campus, the weather, do you want to live in a big city or a small town? Always take that in consideration, because remember, you're going to be studying maybe 2 years more in this place, and you have to have that in mind, that this place has to be what you're looking for, that this institution is offering what you need. Okay, so just take that in mind, and always take in mind that it has to fit your academic needs and financial needs, and also your personal needs. Okay, so right now you can please write it on your notebook, write petersons.com and gradschools.com, the best places to start looking for your best option, okay? Or take a screenshot, take notes. Okay, now we're going to go to step 2, complete your application. There are a lot of requirements for you. And one more, I'm going to go back one. Okay, so what are the application requirements? The application requirements are English proficiency test. Remember, you are going to apply for a graduate program, so your English level has to be at the right level, right? So how are we going to know if you have the right level? By taking a English proficiency test. You can take the TOEFL, IBT, or you can also take the IELTS. It depends on the university. The cost is different. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in the next slide, but the cost is different, but both tests are accepted. It depends on the university that you're looking for and what that requirements are, okay? Also, the standardized admission test, it can be the GMAT or the GRE. Okay, I stopped a bit because my internet connection kind of stopped, but I hope you guys can hear me well. Okay, I'm here. And remember, please keep your microphones muted. And then, okay, perfect. Now, standardized test, like I said, it depends on which degree you are looking for. And it can be the GRE or the GMAT, okay? Essay, we help you through to write your essays, to revise them. We give you resources that you can use to make the best essay. We, as your advisors, we review them and give you feedback. If you need to send a portfolio, we have sessions that also will guide you through this process. Remember, portfolio is most for if you are into marketing, if you are into arts, just take in consideration that. Letters of recommendation. Your letters of recommendation, it has to be from good recommenders. What I mean about for that is that someone that knows you, someone that will describe you as a student, as a professional. It doesn't matter what their title is. Sometimes we have our advisors saying, oh, can I get a letter of recommendation from the principal, from the coordinator? But what happens if they don't know you, right? It's not going to be a good letter of recommendation. It can be a teacher, but that teacher has to really know you, has to know how you work, how you present yourself in your workspace, if you have developed new projects, how do you work in team? That will be good for them to write on your recommendation of letter, and that is what universities are looking for. Your transcripts are required from your previous degree, that is your undergrad degree, and they have to be translated. Okay, they are translated by a perito traductor. We can help you with that information also. Complete your online application, and the online application, it depends on each university how it's completed, but we also guide you through the process. Remember, there is an application fee when you're applying to a university. You can also ask for a fee waiver, but it depends on the university and if they have the opportunity. We help you through all this process. And like I said before, it's free because we're part of the USA Department of State. So please feel free to contact your closest advisor that will guide you through this process, help you, and give you useful resources for your essays, for studying and preparing for your standardized tests, for your English proficiency tests, okay? Let's continue. Okay, here we have the standardized test cost and where you can start your registration. The IELTS, it's about $220 US, the TOEFL IBT, about 200, and the new test that's been accepted by different USA institution is Duolingo English test with a cost of $49, but depends on which test you are doing, depends on the university. For example, if the university accepts all three, you can choose. But let's say you are going to apply for 3 universities, and those universities only accept IELTS. So you are going to have to do the IELTS, right? So it depends on which university and what are the tests they emit. And also here we have the cost of the GMAT and the GRE. Here is the website of each standardized test. You can take a screenshot, write it down, for 2 reasons: to start your registration process so you can book a test day, and also to find useful resources that they have on their website. Okay. Now, step 3, remember, we're in step 3 and finance your studies. This is a big part that we're going to talk about. So financial planning, it's really important. Why? Because as many international students, the first thing they worry about that they are curious, how can I find a scholarship? How can I study abroad, but how can I cover my expenses? Well, first, remember, try to start your financial planning as early as possible. Take in consideration that cost of living and studying varies across the United States, similar to what we have here in Mexico, and identify ways to reduce expenses and look for special opportunities and financial aid. Okay. Also, this is very important. Send a financial aid application with your admission application. I want to emphasize that Education USA is not a scholarship program. We don't offer scholarships. We help you and guide you through the process to find the best scholarship that the institution that you're applying to can offer. We do have one scholarship that's Opportunity Funds. That's the only scholarship we offer as Education USA. That it's almost it's going to open soon. So if you have been following us on social media, just or not, just try to follow us so you can find out when this Opportunity Funds scholarship opens. This is the only scholarship that we offer, but it's just one option. Okay, because like I said, we have to find different scholarship opportunities for you to able to study in the United States and have the best experience, and that you are not so worried or stressed about financial needs. Taking in consideration your financial needs, remember, these are like the application expenses. Application fees, like I said, each university has its own application fee. It can vary from $35 to up to $250, right? Your documents, if you have to ask your institution to elaborate you a constancia or give you your transcripts or something, they sometimes have a cost. Your translations, remember that I said that your transcripts needs to be translated, and it has to be translated by a perito traductor. So that's another cost. Courier, if you have to send your documents, credential evaluation, that's standardized tests, and if you're going to prepare with a course, test preparation. Remember to take in consideration to how many institutions you're applying to, because that's also going to affect your application expenses. For example, going back to application fees, if you apply to 7, so take in consideration how much it's going to cost for each institution, okay? Also, for a study program in the United States, expenses, here's a little chart that we have put together, and take in consideration your tuition and fees, room, board, university student fees, medical insurance. As an international student, it's very important for you to have medical insurance, travel costs, personal expenses, cost of attendance. It's around 50 to 70,000 per year, but this is going to depend in so much things, from in which state you're studying, what program you're studying, how many scholarships you have been able to obtain, if you are going to be helping in the school, maybe you can work as with a professor, helping them with research. So it's a good example, okay? So this is just a good example. Thank you. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, let's continue. Okay, and financial aid by nationality. As a Mexican citizenship, the biggest financial that you can get is by the institution you're applying to. And also there are different scholarships here in Mexico. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. If you are a USA citizenship, you also have the opportunity to be able to obtain FAFSA. So that's going to be also a help for you. And if you have another nationality, you can reach out to your nearest Education USA so you can know the different opportunities you have, okay? So I'm going to talk about scholarship and loans. Here we have different scholarship available. These are unique and different. They have different requirements. They have different opportunities. Our biggest and the one that we have been working most of the time is Fulbright García Robles, Estudios de Posgrados, and STEM Regional, Negocios Binacionales. So if you haven't heard about Fulbright García Robles scholarship, write them down, search what these scholarship opportunities are. They are amazing. And we also have different knowledge about different scholarship, for example, from CONACYT and scholarship for women, financial support from FIDER, FUNED. All of these will also help you through your financial planning, okay? So take in consideration this is really, really important for you to know, okay? And well, we're almost done with this first part of the presentation. So after all of this, after talking about the first and the second and the third step, we are going to go to the calendar so you guys can see how and why it takes about 12 to 18 months of this process, okay? Because first, this is an example. You can start your calendar right now at this time, but just take in consideration that this is like the process, and that's why it takes 12 months to 18 months. First, you have to research your options, then studying for your test and preparing your essay, prepare your application, submit your application, and you are going to get your letters of acceptance or rejection and attend your pre-departure orientation and start your program. In this process, we will guide you, and I know you will have many questions, and we're here to help you, okay? So that was the first part of the presentation. Now we're going to continue with the participation of our representative of the University of Mississippi, Tracy Alkay. So welcome. Welcome, Tracy.
Hello, thank you, Magali. And thank you to all of you for being here today with us. I'm very excited to be talking to you today, and it's always a pleasure to be working with Education USA. You should really use that resource. Okay, so first of all, we'll be talking about improving your professional network. And there are two key points in this presentation. One is the benefits of developing your professional network, and the other will be strategies for developing your professional network. Okay. Next page, please. So there are many reasons why it's a benefit to improve your professional network. It helps you develop personal relationships, professional alliances. It helps you to generate new ideas if you're working on research, for instance. It broadens your perspectives, and it helps with growth and support on many different levels. Of course, it helps with career and research advancement as well, which is the main point of your graduate study. But overall, what you're going to find through developing your networks will be new opportunities. Next. So, strategies for networking in or for graduate study. You can be developing your network on the personal level, making alliances or friends with your classmates and colleagues. You can work on the institutional level, such as developing your relationship with the department where you intend to do your study. There's always going to be someone who is like a graduate program coordinator in different programs in the U.S. institution. So someone who would be like your advisor at the institution. You definitely want to connect with that person before you come to study in the United States and ask them questions. Whoever is your admissions advisor as well could probably give you different information that will help you as you're going through the process at that institution. And asking for other contacts through the international office, or connecting with other international students who might be studying at the university, or graduate students in the program. They don't have to be international students. Anyone who's here, what we say, like feet on the ground in the place where you're looking to study, can be a big help to you. Of course, on the professional level, all of those contacts might lead to opportunities later in your career. So watching out for those opportunities is great. And there are other things like periodicals and journals online that you can connect through in your field that might also bring you to other opportunities for networking and for your career. Okay, next, please. So on the personal level, like I mentioned before, you should talk to your classmates when you're in a graduate level class. I guess, sometimes we take this for granted, but I've seen many students go into classes, never speak to anyone, leave the class, and they can go through years and never know the name of the person next to them. You don't want to be that person if you want to develop a strong network. You want to know the people who are interested in the same field you are interested in. And these people will turn into your colleagues one day. So it's a good idea to connect with those people. Of course, you might have opportunities to attend things like conferences in your field of study. When you have that opportunity, take it as often as you can. Most professional level conferences that include people who are in graduate study will have special sections of presentations just for those who are busy in their graduate study. And those are wonderful chances for you to get to know other people outside of your institution and exercise what you're learning. So that's a great way of building your network as well. Social groups are fantastic. Things like student organizations on campuses are wonderful for this. There are student organizations for every field, student organizations for every background and every interest. And if you can't find a student organization that is just right for you, most US institutions have a way that you can create your own student organization on campus. So all you need are a few people interested in the same thing, and you talk to your associated student body or find out, you know, from your advisor how you can create a student organization. You can do that as well. And attend social events. These are great ways of developing your personal level network. Okay, next. Okay, now on the institutional level, of course, you want to connect with your professors. Every professor has office hours. So if you have any questions whatsoever, you should bring them to your professor's attention. Make a point of visiting your professors during their office hours at some point. Not, it doesn't have to be every day, but every now and then you should make a point of visiting your professors during their office hours, even if it's just to chit chat, because it helps build those connections. Some of those professors might be your advisors. Of course, Education USA has advisors for you, and they're a great source of networking as well. You have departmental resource offices, usually on your campus, where you can also make connections within the institution. Those student organizations I mentioned already, and most universities in the United States will have a career services office too. So they will serve everyone at the university. So it will not be specifically for your field, but they will know about opportunities for connecting that might not be obvious to you at first. So attend those research and career events hosted by your department or your institution. There are all sorts of job fairs and social events that might occur. And those are wonderful chances to connect, enjoy yourself, and develop relationships that one day might be opportunities that come looking for you. Okay, next. So professional level networking, what we're talking about are professional organizations. There are many different types of professional organizations. In any field, you can probably find at least 3 to 5 right off the bat that your professors connect with, your advisor connects with, and other people in your department enjoy attending conferences and things like that. So these conferences and conventions are wonderful places. We are going to find that although this is quite a large world, the world of academia is kind of small. So people connect at these places and these events, and they reconnect on an annual basis, and they get to know each other very well. And once you get into that habit, things will start to come your way. You'll start to learn about opportunities and new ideas a lot quicker than you would otherwise. Career fairs are another option. Those might occur outside of your university as well. So that's another level of career fair you could go to, and other professional events. Of course, there are professional communications. I mentioned journals earlier, and many of them are online these days, but there are also things like LinkedIn is a great social media for connecting on a professional level. There are listservs engaging people in different professional settings. Like it could be a professional organization, or it might just be a group of people from one specific profession. But if you connect through those listservs, that's another way of staying afloat of what's happening, you know, staying on the heartbeat of the field. So in summary, what we are advising you to do is to increase your connections, because increased connections means increased opportunities. So we want you to have all of the information, all of the access, and all of the opportunity that can possibly come your way. And networks are a great way to do that. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. If you have questions, you can email me at this email address. I'm happy to answer questions. Of course, you can also enter questions into the chat area, directing them to Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer some questions right now as well. And if you'd like to request information from our Study Mississippi Consortium later, you can fill out a small Google form at this link or use this QR code. And we'd be happy to send you more information about our institutions, but that's specifically at your request. Okay, that's it. Q&A time. Questions?
Questions. Yes, thank you. Now let me introduce you to my colleague Jorge Reyes. He is going to be helping us with the questions. Thank you, Jorge.
Yeah, thank you very much, Magali and Tracy, for this presentation. We have a couple of questions over here, and I guess we have some spare time here. So the first question goes for Tracy. What is the right way to contact professors? I mean, do I have to send an email, or what would be the best way to contact them?
Usually the best way to contact a professor, unless you have another opportunity to meet them in person, is to send an email. Nowadays, some professors might be offering a chance to set up a Zoom appointment with them. But most of the time, people connect through email first. And when you send an email, make sure that you are fairly formal with the first email you send, right? Make sure you include things like your name and where you're from and what you're trying to do, and try to be as specific as possible, because that will help the professor, number one, know if they're the person to answer your question, because in a lot of instances, what would happen is they might send it on to another person that the question might be for, right? It may not specifically be a question for that professor, but if they don't have the information to know how to address you, like in the response, that's going to be an uncomfortable thing for the professor to do. And I cannot tell you how many emails we receive that don't even have a name on them other than the email address. This is becoming more and more common these days. And so I'm trying to give you the best advice I can. Include your name, your contact information, what you are wishing, and the professor, if they cannot answer the question, is likely to at least hand the email over, forward the email to someone else who can answer your question.
So
yeah.
I guess don't use your email as a WhatsApp then.
Well, I normally when students are emailing me with questions, then I usually give them a link to my Calendly appointment so they can connect with me over Zoom very easily. Not every office is going to be set up that way, but I talk to a lot of students, especially a lot of international students. So that's the way I do it. But I actually am the person who forwards a lot of emails to a lot of different departments, because international students are asking me questions about different parts of our university. So I'm used to it. Not everyone likes receiving a lot of emails, but there is no better way other than meeting with them in person at an event, right? If you have a chance to go to office hours, go to office hours. If you have a chance to meet them at an event, meet them at the event. But if you are far away from them and don't have any other option, email is definitely the best route. Okay. And emails will be posted. Emails will be posted on the university websites. Okay, so you can use the university emails.
Yeah, so students must be aware then of these advertisements or the way professors post these their emails and their contact information, right? I mean, they have to look for that, right?
Yeah, usually you can, if you know the professor's name, then you can go to the university's website, and you can usually search for faculty on the website. There's usually a search function, and get the email that way. I don't recommend finding it by Googling it necessarily. And if they don't have their email posted, then maybe look in that department's website on the university where, like, every department will usually have their own pages in a university website, and there's usually a contact specifically for that department. So that's another way you could do that.
Okay, thank you very much, Tracy. So Tracy, you talked about if there is not a club for me, so I can start one. How difficult is this for international students? So in our case, for Mexican students, I mean, do they have to pay a fee for start their own club? Or, I mean, because, you know, we can see a lot of, or we see in like American movies, you know, they students posting a lot of papers on telephone poles and all that. So join my club or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But how, I mean, how practical or how difficult can it be for international students to create a club or a association or whatever?
It should be actually very easy. It's not a complicated process. It definitely doesn't cost anything. It should not cost anything at any of the institutions. In fact, many institutions have money set aside for student organizations. So if you need some money for an event for your student organization, there might be some funding that can help you do that, right? Especially if it's a cultural event. Universities love to have cultural events on their campuses. So, or anything that promotes education. You know, universities like education, go figure. but you'll have to check. You can ask. I would start, if I were you, I would start with the International Services Office at the university, asking them if they know, if they can help you. What you'll need to do is you need to make sure, first of all, that there isn't a student organization already for whatever function it is you're trying to do, right? I've seen students start organizations regularly at our university. It's a nice thing to do. It's a matter of paperwork and getting registered and finding a faculty member to be the faculty advisor for the student organization. So that's another reason you need to network with your professors is because you need a professor who will say, okay, yeah, I'll be the advisor. And the advisor doesn't do much except be there to answer questions like this. How do I go about this, right? Who do I connect with? Because the professor probably has more connections to those other offices at the university. So it's a pretty easy process and it doesn't cost. In fact, there might be a little bit of money to help with your celebrations.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so another question, just regarding networking, what other resources or tools do you recommend for international students? I mean, for freshmen, when arriving to the school and they don't know anybody at the school?
Okay. Well, social media is fantastic, but you have to be careful, of course, right? Because there are so many different groups in social media and not every group is going to be as helpful as you imagine they would be by the name. So at the risk of being redundant, I'm going to say, ask the international office at the campus. They might know about some either students they can connect you with who will know which groups to join, or they will know about social media groups that you can connect with that might be good to join. I know at our university, we have a Facebook group specifically, it was created by our international students. It's been there for probably 10 years or more now. And it's a wonderful group. It's a private group. You have to request to join, but usually they let you in within a day if you were asking to join in. And people post things there like, if there's a room available in their apartment, if someone's trying to sell a cer or something else that might be useful because they're leaving the United States and they can't take it back with them to wherever they're going. Or if there's an event happening, like, hey, we're having a dance, you want to come join us, with our student organization. So many different things can be posted there. And I often advise students who talk to me who are planning to come to our campus, if you're interested, you might want to consider joining this group because then it helps you start to see what other international students are doing before you even get here. So there are all kinds of groups like that, but most universities will have like some kind of ambassadors, like global ambassadors, maybe might be a name they would use, which would be students who either are international students or American students interested in study abroad and connecting with the international students who have been on campus, and they are like the welcoming committee for the new international students, and they can offer a lot of advice too. I mean, I've seen simple questions like, hey, here's a picture of our campus, like showing on their phone. Here's a picture I found on the internet. Where can I find this? Because I can't find this anywhere. Like they just want to take a picture by a sign or something like that. And you know, you need to ask the people who live there, who know these answers. What store can I go to buy this certain thing I need? Or, you know, all those questions that are very important when you're new in a neighborhood, right? And you may as well consider your campus a new neighborhood.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot, Tracy, again. And this last question goes for Magali as Education USA advisor. Does Education USA help me to find scholarships?
Okay, thank you, Jorge. We do. Like I mentioned before, Education USA is not a scholarship program. We don't offer scholarships, but we help you and guide you through the process of finding the best scholarship that is going to fill your needs for your financial. And remember, the biggest support that you are going to receive is from your institution that you are applying to, and we will help you through the process. We will help you to send a financial application, and we will help you and guide you to find the best scholarships that are available here in Mexico that will help you through your graduate studies. Like I mentioned before, we help you to apply to the best, one of the best scholarship that it's Fulbright Garcia Robles from Comexus, so we can help you with that. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Those were all the questions I gathered. So I don't know, Magali, I guess I leave you with Tracy again.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you, Tracy. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for giving a great presentation that will help our students to improve their network skills, and also us as an advisor, so we can also learn a lot. And please find our social media contact here. And if you have any questions, please write to mexicocity@educationusa.org. We are here to help you and guide you through this process. Thank you, Jorge, and thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And bye-bye.
Thank you.